The Rams victory. This is the first time I've ever been to something like this. We went to the Rams victory parade to canvas for signatures, and we did really well. We had like I think our best numbers day, and my teammate Sigrid kicked ass. She beat my all-time campaign record, and she crushed me. she crushed me so hard. Wow, Sigrid, you and I gotta talk about what you're telling your team, what you're doing to coach them up. I'll be real though, I'm not as good at this scenario. I know that in Laguna they wanted to keep me on the farmers markets because I actually was pulling in a lot of signatures, but that was a totally different. Uh, Laguna was mostly day tourism, right? So people were there kind of lazy, wandering around the farmers market and stuff. And they were more willing to soak in the sights and sounds of Laguna Beach. Whereas these people, they were on a mission. they were they were there for the Rams. These are sports fans. They were there for the Rams. I heard some really creative things about like how people got signatures today. My good buddy Robert started today. It was his first day on the job, and he discovered that by hanging out by the porta potties, he could just work the line. I love that he's so creative on day one. That's so good. So good. So good. Yeah, that was, I had two of my top performers they had been struggling on the doors, and they're doing so good in this sort of scenario. This like totally works for them. So we had a conversation midday about like how they're kicking ass and taking names, they were doing so good. And we talked about like the different styles of canvassing, like this style of canvassing versus like knocking on doors. And I also gave my experience with the farmers market and how it was much more relaxed, and people were like willing to give you time because they were kind of just there. Like it's like a day adventure. It wasn't like we won, we're here for the athletes, right? I think so. What we deduced basically between the three of us in this conversation is that the two of them really like the quick and dirty, the get in, get out. And I do to some extent too, but I also really do like rapport building and having the longer conversations at the door and talking about like the community and talking, having more in depth. I do kind of like building those relationships, right? Like on the spot, but I do it quick, but there's slightly more time when you're at somebody's door. It's more pointed. The person's name in advance. It's a different experience than when you're in a crowd and you have to have like that quick line that gets somebody's attention, and you have to have an elevator speech, and you have to get it done quickly. I did much better at the end of the day when I was canvassing basically like one of the train depot stops, because they had to sit there and wait for their train. I can find my sweet spot too. But they found theirs, and theirs is the quick and dirty, like get in, get out, just do your elevator pitch and get it done. And they love it. They love being fast. They love that they don't have to interact for too long, and they're able to get it done. And I love that. I love that everybody's able to find how they can be most successful, because we all have talents in different ways. And when leadership can consider that and figure out like, okay, how can we best utilize these people, you have the best results, because not everybody's the same. And I wish education, like this is part of the, as an IEP parent, this is part of the problem with education too, is that we're looking way too much to standardize things and not about like how people learn, right? And that's a really important distinction, is that not everybody operates in the same way, but they can be successful and grow talents in certain areas that other people may not have those talents. And that's okay, because our strengths can complement each other. Our strengths can complement each other. You don't have to be the best at everything, but you do need to be able to work with people who have different talents than you and figure out how you can complement each other. Very interesting day. I've never been to a victory parade before. They were very excited, but I've never smelled so much weed either. Well, no, okay. When I canvass Hollywood, I smell a lot of weed. So, oh my gosh, there was only one restroom that was like a decent restroom, because they had porta potties everywhere, right? And they started immediately locking them and cleaning them up as soon as the thing ended. So now you've got like no restrooms. The only restroom I could find was like Starbucks, and it had like a line. Every time I went, there was a line. And but it was a real toilet, right? It smelled like weed every time I went into that Starbucks. It had a really lofty, heavy weed smell inside by the bathroom. It wasn't in the bathroom. It was like on this back bar area where there was some seating that was near the bathroom. So I don't know if it just happened to be the people who were sitting there. They smelled so... weed smells like skunk to a lot of us. It smells like skunk. I get you. It was a party day. A lot of Modelo out there, too. Is that the drink now? Did Pabst Blue Ribbon get replaced? There's a lot of Modelo out there. Good day overall. A lot of fun. And it's the first time I took public transportation in God knows how long. I had to rely on my team to figure out how to use, because I was a little nervous about this because I haven't used public transportation in so long. And I'm getting on like the metro to get it out there, and I'm like, okay, help me. Oh, how do we know which stop to get off at? Like, what are we doing here? Because I don't do this. I know that this is the map and this is where we're supposed to be. And one of my canvassers was like, you don't use public transportation? And I'm like, I was a single mom. I had to have a car. I was driving him everywhere. I took him to all of his stuff. I know. I mean, I use the free shuttles in Yosemite. But not really, no. I'm from California. Most people in California know that our public transportation kind of sucks, although it's better in LA. It's better in LA, and I think that's why a lot of people in LA use it more so. But Orange County? Are you kidding me? There's like nothing fucking down here. There's nothing down here. Are you kidding me? There's nothing. We're so starved of bus lines, for sure. And, we got one train running up the center of the county. If you take it, then you're probably going to have to, like, figure out a bus route or, like, Lyft or something when you get to your destination, because, like, it's not near anything. It's not near shit. All right. So we figured out that some people have a sweet spot. I love it. I love it. The numbers were pretty awesome today. We did good.